So I just wanted to kind of highlight and explain exactly what extended ratios is, or what ratios are.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so where we have another, I guess, advantage or tool in our tool belt is that instead of using, say, a 2-year average with a notice of assessment or T1s or whatever kind of tax documents that BFS, a business for self client, would have, we can take a look at using bank statements, right? So see the pure deposits going in, and then we're going to look at the business. What is the business? What reasonable expenses is this business going to have? And then we ask the clients, what does it cost to run your business, right? So what we're going to do is take all of those bank statement deposits. We're going to add them all up. Let's just, for ease of numbers, say that it comes to 100,000 for the year. And then we're looking at the business and asking the client what it costs to run their business. And when I say looking at the business, I mean, use common sense. You have to use reasonability, right? Like if someone owns a restaurant, we're going to expect to see food costs. We're going to expect to see most likely a lease or a rent payment for like a physical location, that kind of thing. That's what I say when we look at the business. So we're going to look at all those expenses, deduct it from the 100,000. Let's say that, after we take a look at their bank statements and after they tell us that they have $30,000 in expenses, we're going to take, of course, that 100,000, deduct the 30,000 in expenses, and look to use 70,000 of income to qualify that client for the mortgage. So that's another option we have for BFS clients. And same for Aveo anyways. I can speak to Aveo. We're treating like commission folks, mortgage agents, realtors, same as BFS, right? So they have the option to use bank statements as well versus just a net income or a T4A.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Again, you're almost taking advantage. You're double dipping on in my opinion, you're double dipping on the savings piece, right? So you're getting advantages. So you're getting the advantage of having that awesome accountant writing the expenses down, right? So you're not paying the tax, and then this is a solution for you to still qualify, right? So I know we do a lot of them. I'd love to get the word out there so much more. And it's funny, even accountants don't know that this is offered. Right? So one thing you had mentioned, no stress test, right? Yeah. I mean, so for people that are out there, what the stress test is the government came out with what's called a stress test, and forever it was what we call the contract rate. So or not the contract rate, the qualifying rate. But now with the rising interest rate environment, what we're doing is so let's say, rates where they're at, let's say 6%, let's call it a rate of 6%. You need to qualify on a payment as if it's 8. The mortgage payment's 8%, right? So you're saying you don't have a stress test product, which is huge for people, again, to help them get into the houses, or if they're looking at houses in that 500,000 range, just say, and they need to get to that 550, but they don't qualify, you would have a no stress test product that would help them get there. So can you explain a little bit about the no stress test product and
Yeah, the no stress test has been an absolute godsend for me for the last few years. It is a product, like you say, it's where we don't have to do that plus 2% above and beyond contract rate. So like Justin mentioned, anytime with any sort of bank type lender, you're going to be looking at qualifying at +2 beyond the actual rate that you're going to be paying interest on. So we have the luxury of being a monoline and being a call it investor-backed lender that we can pull from many different buckets of capital. And some of those buckets are regulated differently than a bank would be. And that's what gives us the luxury to be able to have this no stress test product. Basically, you're qualifying right at contract rate. So let's say I come to you and I say, okay, you're buying a house in Hamilton. You have 20% down at 80%. Your credit score is great at 700, but your ratios are high. Let's say your ratios, with a stress test are 50, 52, 52 or something like that. You're not going to qualify at a bank, right? So you might come to Aveo and we have our no stress product. And instead of, qualifying at +2 of contract, we're going to say, okay, the rate right now for you is 629. You're qualifying at 629 over 30 years, and we'll go up to 45-50 ratios with that product. So, those are kind of the details of the product. What it boils down to is it gets your clients into more home. And that's what matters, right? Like, who cares, ratios and amortizations and all the numbers. What it really matters is that it gets your clients into more home, right? Because that's the value proposition for them, is that, okay, with this product, I can buy now the home I want instead of the home that the bank's telling me I can afford. And that's the great piece about this product. The other great piece is that it's easy to explain. From a broker perspective, from a realtor perspective, you can explain this to a client in, you know, a few sentences, and most of them are going to get it. You can say that with no stress, you don't have to qualify at +2 above your mortgage interest rate, and it's going to qualify you for more home, because that's what really what it boils down to with that. There's other little niches with that product as well, some fantastic ones really, where I do a lot of business up in more rural areas up north, because with that product, we'll look to 80% loan to value anywhere in Ontario. Okay. It is an Ontario only based product, but we'll look to 80% anywhere, where you're talking 2 hours east of Timmins. As long as the property is like a regular property, it's not like a 3-season cottage or something like that. We'll take a look up to 80%, right? So that's another really big advantage we have with that product. This one is a product that's not really geared towards people who need bank statement verification. So business for sale people, commission folks who need to use bank statements, no stress really doesn't work for them. We do need verifiable income. Okay. And I do need this to be an owner occupied property. I can't do a no stress on investment properties or on rentals or anything like that.
Right. Awesome. No, I think I think that's very valuable for a lot of people, right? So again, any of our, any clients that are looking out there and just struggling, you need like Matt was saying, you need a little bit more house, but you can't quite qualify, please give us a call. This is something that you should be taking advantage of. And again, to all of our realtor partners, this is huge. This will really, really help you in your business when you're able to provide this option to clients, right? And get them into that house that they want to get into, right? So I think it's an awesome product.